Donald Trump apparently isn't a gigantic fan of Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. Sure, he likes them as family and he has some weird attraction to his daughter, but in terms of their ability to get the job done in the White House, he has apparently had an issue with it for a long time. And we're getting you details about this thanks to Vicky Ward's new book, Kushner Inc. We've reached out to Vicky Ward, hopefully she'll come on the show, but here's a little bit of what is coming out already from this book. So when Trump hired John Kelly as his chief of staff, a move that Mrs. Trump and Mr. Kushner supported at the time, Trump gave an early directive: get rid of my kids, get them back to New York. So they brought in this guy, and then one of the first things he tells him is, you gotta get rid of them, they're a nightmare. So Mr. Trump apparently complained, according to the book, that his children, quote, didn't know how to play the game and generated cycles of bad press. Mr. Kelly responded that it would be difficult to fire them, but he and the president agreed that they would make life difficult enough to force the pair to offer their resignations, which the president would then accept begrudgingly. So think about that, and bear in mind, everybody in the White House says that this book is totally false, not true at all. They've said that about all the books, and all the books seem to agree. You do the math on your own, figure out who's trustworthy in this particular case. But Trump, who wants to be seen as the alpha male, the big guy, can't even tell his son-in-law, buzz off, boy. Like, he won't actually say that. His daughter, he doesn't want her there, but he can't actually get rid of her. He has a new chief of staff, and he loves to get the chief of staff to do his firings for him, but even the new chief of staff refuses to do it. What did Jared Kushner and Ivanka have over these two that they can't fire them? They are like bizarrely placed floating aides to the White House. That's all they are. We're not talking about the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, which, by the way, Trump had no problem getting rid of when he wanted to get rid of them. These are just aides brought in through nepotism and nothing else, and Donald Trump doesn't know how to figure out how to get past this, which is pathetic in its own way. But why is this an issue? Why does Donald Trump apparently want to get rid of them? And why do so many people who've worked with these two have an issue with them? So Vicky Ward talked with some people there and said they talk to you as if they grew up in an ivory tower, Jared and Ivanka, which they did, but they have no idea how normal people perceive, understand, intuit. Someone close to the legal team told Ward, this is one of the White House lawyers, they're the type of people who, if you don't pretty much indicate quickly that you're happy to shove your head up their butt, you're immediately a threat. So they don't understand the actual context that they're working in. They don't know how to navigate these relationships, but they are extremely sensitive to either real threats or just perceived threats, even misperceived threats. And so they continually cause more friction than is necessary inside of a White House that is already full of static electricity. And so Donald Trump might have actually been kind of rational in wanting to get rid of them. Now, of course, that comes after bringing them in to a place where they had no place in the first place, so that's an issue, but maybe he even deserves a little bit of credit. And so to give you an example of exactly how they get involved in stuff that they should not be involved in, so one of those White House lawyers said that Jared and Ivanka would frequently intrude on meetings between the president and his lawyers, raising complex legal concerns about attorney-client privilege. Quote, we'd just be sitting there awkwardly like, okay, well, we can't really talk until she leaves. They were reckless. So, and by the way, in terms of like the sort of the constantly looking out for themselves, like Jared Kushner is apparently legendary for this, and he's even willing to throw the president's own kids under the bus to protect his own reputation. So this next excerpt, this comes from what was going on after we had found out about the Trump Tower meeting that Kushner and Don Jr. and Manafort and others had been at. So apparently, according to a member of the legal team, Kushner's new lawyer, Abby Lowell, told Trump's lawyers that before emails regarding that Trump Tower meeting were provided to Congress, Jared wanted to leak them to the media, and he wanted Don Jr. to do it, presumably as part of a strategy to associate the meeting with Don Jr. rather than Kushner. Now, to be fair, the lawyer denies this. But remember what happened. Don Jr. leaked them before they were provided to Congress, and Don Jr. has been linked to that Trump Tower meeting to a far greater degree than either Kushner or Manafort. So it might not be that this is true. It might not be that this was actually Kushner's strategy, but apparently has worked out for him pretty well at this point. Don Jr. certainly seems to be more the target of investigation than Kushner, even though Kushner arguably has more ethical and legal concerns to worry about. So there you go, Donald Trump willing to throw his two favorite people in the entire world under the bus to smooth things over in the White House, and Jared willing to do that to the rest of Trump's extended family if it means avoiding prison for himself. Thank you very much for watching this clip from The Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.